3, 2, and uno. Let me do that again. You can keep this intro in because I think it's funny that I messed up. But I already hate the idea that I have allowed this to happen because before we get even started, you're making fun of me. What do you guys have planned here? What is?
We just want to hang out with you.
You walked in. You go, can I be in the rewind? You said it like that too, like this. Like what was that about? Can I be in the rewind, David? I love you guys. What's going on?
Nothing's going on.
Just
hanging out.
You just want to be on
Just
camera.
needed some Angels action.
Yeah.
We'll have a softball game tonight that Kennedy Cabin will
I'll
cover.
be there.
So you brought up can I bring up your idea that you brought up?
Yeah.
Not that one idea of the hidden video. Something else.
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
They think that they should host this show one day when I'm on vacation. The chances of management approving that are very slim. That being said, would you want to watch?
Everyone comment below if you want me
Absolutely.
and Kay and Anna to host the show because we would be
totally happen.
We'd probably steal your job. Like we would do so good that they would be like, "Bye, David."
Okay, so here's the deal. If we get 75 people to say that you should host the show. 75.
75
comments.
Minimum 75, and it can't all be your parents. Okay? 75. I will make
all
sure
of
that
Aggie Royals.
I go into management and request it.
Okay.
I'm not saying that they're going to say yes.
I have a full group of 100 girls behind me with my women's org. So
Now that I know that.
This is going to happen.
too.
Hold on,
is backing
All
us
of the
here.
IG followers between us.
it's happening.
Done.
Another thing I'm going to say. If you do it for 75 straight days, I guarantee you host it.
Oh.
I don't like that camera angle, Nick.
I know this is a little too close. We need to get into the rewind.
All right, we have a lot on the show. I don't remember what we have on the show, but I know Nick sent it to me, but I know it was a very good show. Do you guys agree?
It was a great
It was
show.
so
Yeah.
good.
You weren't listening.
I had
All right,
fun.
we had the word of the day. Next.
Next.
We had a preview on Miami football.
Next.
Okay, thank you. We did recruiting country.
Next.
Nah, not worth watching.
Bronny had an epic rant.
He did. It was pretty epic. Go check that
That's what I
out.
have
It
to
was
say
scary.
about that.
You guys done?
No.
Sorry. D1 Baseball's Kendall Rogers.
Next.
Bye, guys.
David, I was kind of disappointed because you used it this morning. So you definitely know what it means, and it's a part of your vocabulary
What is it?
already. The word is next. Next.
Like they used to say in
Yeah.
the 90s? Like, next.
Yeah. Well, so it's not.
How did I use it? I don't remember using it.
Y'all were talking about LeBron, maybe. Or no. You were talking about the Lakers
Okay.
this morning, and then you just said next.
Oh, I didn't realize.
Like you were over it. So essentially, yeah, it's common sense. It's not groundbreaking. I mean,
But it's used.
yes, it's used, but it's a trendy, slang word. So if you hear something you don't like, you think it's irrelevant, it's just unnecessary, maybe you're talking about an ex-boyfriend or girlfriend.
Next.
Immediately next. Change the topic. I don't want to hear it.
It's like this generation we live in, right? Where we used to have to wait for the song that we wanted to listen to, and we might wait on the radio for hours. OB, right? You're waiting for that one jam. You want it, you need it. You're trying to record it. Now you just press next on Spotify or Apple Tunes. You can get to whatever song you want at any moment.
Next.
What is this Spotify you're talking about?
You're not familiar with Spotify?
I'm gonna have to.
Do you have it?
Oh, you really are old.
I absolutely.
You
You're
have it, right?
serious, right?
No, I don't have it.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Do you know what it is?
It's something that plays music.
And podcasts. Yeah, it's just like
Yeah, we
iTunes.
have our TexAgs podcasts on Spotify.
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah, you're big in the
you should
Spotify
know
community.
what it is.
You're huge.
People listen to you on Spotify. In case you didn't know,
I did not know that.
I did not know that.
Spotify users their minds are blown right now as they're listening to this.
They're listening to it later because it's not live
Exactly.
on Spotify.
Once it's recorded.
OB, can you use next in a sentence?
Yeah. Next.
Next topic.
There we go.
2 big games at home. What else can you kind of tell us about that schedule?
Yeah, Florida State is going to be massive. That one's going to be on the road this year. Florida State just handled Miami in South Florida last season. That was one of those awful losses that made you question everything about what was happening at Miami. So really, I think, in Texas A&M, it's a different type of challenge because you're going up against top competition. Some might say it's not quite as important just because it's an out of conference game, right? Where a lot of Miami's goals are within the ACC. So the Texas A&M game Be a tough competition, good barometer for where Miami stands. I think the most important games, though, are going to be the Clemson and Florida State games, because Miami wasn't even competitive against Florida State last year. They weren't really competitive against Clemson. And the last several times Miami has faced Clemson, it's been like baptism type of losses, like awful losses where Clemson has just blown out Miami repeatedly. So I think you've got to be competitive and hopefully win at least one out of those two games. Those are going to help decide Miami's goals in the ACC.
Alex, we talked about the pressure on Mario this year, but what is a realistic, like today, with the information that you have, what is a realistic look at the season? Is this a potential 8-4 team? Is this a team that's still maybe closer to 7? Or are they maybe a team that can reach that potential we thought they could have last year?
Yeah, as much as I hate making predictions, and I haven't gone on record with an official one yet, I think the seven win range is realistic. I think 8-4 is probably around the ceiling for this team, just because you got new coordinators on both sides of the football. And this stuff, I hope that if things are clunky, I hope they don't use new coordinators as an excuse for anything. But I think it is valid to say it's a big transition on both sides of the football. It's a big transition, I think, with a lot of true freshmen and redshirt freshmen who are going to be expected to play serious roles and starting roles on this team on both sides of the field.
Have to be somewhat aggressive in the portal.
No question.
You can't allow it to, like...
You got to be proactive and not reactive in everything in recruiting. Because once you're reactive, it's too late now. And that's kind of where I've been on them offering in-state kids that they think may end up being really good players, but by the time they figure out, okay, we're going to make this offer, they've got 20 other offers already, and so your offer from Texas A&M doesn't mean as much. You know what I'm saying? So be proactive. That was kind of my biggest deal in the last year with the recruiting, is like, be more aggressive than you're being. You know, in this day and age, I hate to say this because of how it's gotten, and I know there are a lot of college coaches that don't agree with this, but like, be more aggressive than offers than you probably should. You know, Alabama's been doing it for a decade, right? They go and offer, they carpet bomb the state of Texas. They used to really do it. Carpet bomb the state of Texas with offers, and then they'd get them in on the summer at camps and see, okay, this kid's got an offer. Can he play here?
Right.
And then they'll make the decision on how hard they pursue the kid after that. I'm not saying that's the ideal route to go down, but I would like to see them be more aggressive with some of these kids in state and start forming those bonds early to make them want, like, A&M to be a real player long-term, because some of these kids, they'll end up getting pretty angry. Like, everybody else is offering me. A&M's right down the road. Why did A&M offer me? That kind of thing. So,
well, and I also think there's something about being early that it may not solidify your spot with that kid, but they'll have a special spot for you in their heart.
Well, and you got to play that game real delicately in the state, right? Because if you over-offer in the state, and you can make a lot of people and coaches and trainers and people in communities upset about your strategy because you offer a kid and you don't have a spot for him.
Right.
But if there are kids that have got offers from 20 schools already, and A&M's kind of slow playing them, but they see A&M also offering kids across the country in their class at their position, they're going, hey, what's going on here?
Right.
Kind of thing. So it's a really delicate balance, and I think you've got to have a plan for it. But, yeah, my overall – I would just like to see A&M be more proactive, both in the portal, definitely, and then with their high school stuff.
Let's give Jace Lavalette some props over there, SEC Freshman of the Week. He has, like, I expected as a freshman to have ups and downs, and he has had ups and downs. But I think he's better right now than I thought he'd be at this point.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's kind of funny. I had him as my freshman year in the SEC, and unfortunately for him, even if he finishes on a torrid pace, you still have Ethan Petrie, South Carolina. But, you know, I think the biggest thing with Jace is, you know, when he arrived at A&M, a lot of scouts said, hey, he got a really big hole in his swing. When he went to the fall, they're like, hey, man, Mike Early really kind of tweaked his swing. He's kind of figured that out. You saw a little bit, you know, and you still, to an extent, see some swing and miss in his approach. But what he is, he's a guy that's starting to recognize pitches. And I think that's the biggest thing with players when they come out of high school, whether it's on the mound and approaching hitters or as a hitter approaching a pitcher. You know, it's different from high school to college, because in the SEC, a guy's going to sequence you a lot differently, a lot more, there's going to be a lot more diverse with their approach and their pitch selection. And for him, it was a little tough to figure out early. But what he's done, he's started to figure out, okay, here's the rhythm that teams are approaching me with, and he's making those adjustments, and he's hitting for big time power. He looks great. I mean, you look at him physically, you look at his power. He's a kid that is going to have a good freshman year, but he is a guy that I think next year as a sophomore is going to have a monster year. I think 350, probably 15 to 18 bombs kind of year.
So I hope Nick captures when I told them we don't do an outro. We don't do an outro. I think people know what to do.
Ready?
Nick,
Our
what did I
faces
tell
once
you
said-
about that outro or that camera angle?
He can't fix it. Okay. There's so much laughter going on here. Can I do the Kennedy again? Can I be on the rewind?
Get this.
you need to get
David.
David doing that.
What are y'all doing with these angles?
Why is this so close?
There it is. One more time.
There's David.
No!
Can I be on the rewind?
This is giving me epilepsy just watching this.
I don't know if it's the best rewind we've ever done or the worst.
I
but
think it's the absolute best. I think it fits in the
Comment
top
that
5.
we should host the show
Comment.
below.
Comment below.
Like,
Highly entertaining.
subscribe.
minimum 75.
This
minimum.
is going to happen. David.
Yeah.
Tomorrow and then 75 straight days, it might become your
75
show.
straight days of 75 comments?
Yeah.
We should
I
start
don't know
our
if I
own
wanna do
show
that.
if it doesn't happen.
Yeah, we could.
We'll make a podcast, us three. David's Angels.
Did the microphone just hit your face?
It's time to go.
They're bored already.
Good night. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And go follow TexAgs on Instagram and TikTok.
Bye. This is
Good
too
night,
long.
Milo.
Good night, Milo.